Namaste, my beautiful friends, and welcome back to the Way Yoga. My name is Sarah, and we are concluding this series today of exploring the 7 Hermetic Principles and applying those principles to our yoga and meditation practice. Now today we are going to finish things off with the law of gender, so masculine and feminine energy, which is really all that it is. It's a frequency that each and every one of us are in possession of. So regardless of how you identify, we both have masculine and feminine qualities. So to harmonize those qualities, to bring those energies together, we're going to do a flow into yin style yoga. So we'll do a little bit more yang, more dynamic movement, some vinyasa, and then we'll complement that with some yin style yoga. Okay, now for this practice you do not need any props. However, you are welcome to grab any props to better help you and assist you in your practice, but all you'll need today is just a yoga mat and an open mind. Okay, so let's kick things off by coming to the top of our mat. We're just going to do one cycle of sun salutation A just to get us warmed up for this series. Now from standing in mountain pose, Tadasana at the front edge of your mat, we're going to go ahead and bring both arms up and overhead. Exhale, let's come into forward fold. On an inhale, it's halfway lift. Exhale, I want you to meet me in plank pose here. So this can be done on hands and knees or in just traditional plank with the knees off the ground as I'm demonstrating. But from here, let's go ahead and hinge forward, coming all the way down into chaturanga, nice solid chaturanga. Inhale, we'll come up into cobra. Exhale, let's all meet in downward facing dog. So you can certainly press up through hands and knees, making your way back into our first downward facing dog of the class here, okay? Now for this next part of our sequence, friends, what we'll do is I'm going to show you from hands and knees how this could look. So we're going to do some chaturanga push-ups, but coming into side plank. So from hands and knees, this is how it's going to look. So watch me first. Inhale, I'm going to come forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, what I'll have you do is press up, but just bring that left arm out and overhead, okay? It's out to the side wall. Once again, I'll take an inhale here, coming through chaturanga, and then exhale, coming up towards the side. Now, if you're doing this from plank pose with the knees off the ground, we'll do one chaturanga push-up, press up, and then you could either stack or cross one leg in front of the other, coming into side plank. So playing around with that structure, right? Playing around with that yang energy, that masculine energy here right from the get-go, okay? So make a decision, friends. Either you could take this from hands and knees or from plank pose, and we'll go ahead and do this all together, okay? So from here, on your next inhalation, let's go ahead and make our way into plank. And exhale, good. Inhale, chaturanga. Exhale, let's press up to side plank. Inhale, chaturanga. Make sure you're breathing as you're flowing through this. And again, if it feels a little bit more challenging today, a little bit more dynamic today, that's because it is. Inhale. Exhale, let's go for one more round. I'm right there with you. Inhale. And exhale, side plank, one more. And inhale. Whew. And exhale. Let's go ahead and take this into a well-deserved child's pose. Get off the wrist here for just a moment. Come back to your breath. And just check in. See how you're feeling. Very good. Now from here you can continue to rest. I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate what we'll get into next. So starting from plank pose once again. Again, this could be done on hands and knees or not, but all we're simply going to do is zip up through that core here, and then we're just going to alternate. So taking that right hand, we're going to grab onto that left shoulder head and set it back down. And then inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And again, you're welcome if you want that added challenge of rotating, of shifting your weight like so, okay? So once again, make a decision whether you would like to approach this from hands and knees or with the knees off the yoga mat, okay? Let's go ahead and do that all together. We'll just go for a few rounds. And for my friends that are coming up into plank pose with the knees off the ground, it might be helpful to widen your stance just a touch, okay? See how control you can be through the trunk, okay? All right, so on your next inhale, let's grab onto opposite shoulders. So left shoulder head, exhale, set it down. Inhale, exhale, set it down. Inhale, exhale, set it down. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Let's go for two more. Inhale, exhale. Last one, inhale. Well done, everybody. Exhale. Let's once again come back either to seated or to child's pose. Tap into your breath. Come back to your intention for this practice. Take a moment to reset. All right. So again, playing around with that structure, with that dynamism of yang energy, I'm going to have you come into forearm plank this time. So coming down onto the forearms. Good. And then from here, we'll all lift our knees off the yoga mat here. Now listen carefully. It's going to look like this. Using strength and control from my core and my shoulders, I'm going to slowly just bring my knees down onto the yoga mat, followed by the thighs and the hips until I'm in Sphinx pose here. And then on your next inhalation, we're going to reverse all that. So I'm going to lift up through the hips, through the low belly, through the thighs. I'm going to curl my back toes under until I'm in forearm plank here. Okay, let's do that again. So on your next inhalation, knees come down, thighs come down, hips come down until you're in Sphinx pose. And then we'll reverse all that by coming off the hips, the thighs, the knees. I'll gently curl the back toes under, coming into forearm plank. Let's do that 2 more times. On an inhale, knees come down, thighs come down, hips come down. Sphinx pose. Good. On your next inhale, let's reverse all that. Curling those back toes under until we're in forearm plank. And because I care about you so much, we're going to do that one final time. Inhale, bring those knees down. Thighs, hips, into Sphinx pose. And then last time, let's reverse it. Hips come up, thighs come up, knees come up. We'll curl those back toes under. Gorgeous. Now from here, let's go ahead and just make our way onto the belly, coming down onto the forearms. Let's take a rest here. Come back to your breath, and we'll kiss that portion of our practice goodbye. I'm definitely sweating. I'm definitely feeling a little out of breath, but it's a good feeling. It's good work. It's aligned action, right? Beautiful. And now from here, friends, we are going to segue into our yin portion of class. So playing around with that feminine quality, right? That feminine frequency of receptivity, of stillness, of receiving, okay? So kind of where we started here, I'm going to invite you to either take Sphinx pose here by coming down onto the forearms, and where ideally you should be feeling this is in the lower back. So we want a healthy amount of compression for that low back, so some healthy extension. And of course, you are welcome to take this a step further. Some of you may want to widen your stance here with your hands and then come into seal pose, right? And we won't be here long. We'll be here just for a few cycles of breath. And again, just finding that healthy degree of pressure, right, that we're looking for in yin yoga. And if you're not familiar with some of the principles of yin yoga, I'll have a couple of classes linked down below that will help guide you through some of the nuances between yin style yoga and its more yang counterparts like vinyasa flow yoga. Okay. But just know that for now, we want to go for just a healthy degree of pressure, right? Not too much, not too little, but just right. And see where you can soften your edges in this practice. Letting go of any tension in the body. Beautiful. We'll stay here for one more cycle of breath. Exhale. Let's come all the way down onto the low belly. Yes, you are welcome to rest here for a moment. Or if you want to, bend both knees and just gently take them side to side. A nice gentle release for the low back. And it's not uncommon to feel kind of edgy when we come out of yin style yoga postures, right? That's intentional. That's part of the practice. And again, in my other videos, I go more in depth on why that is, okay? So be sure to check those out. Beautiful. Now from here, let's go ahead and press up onto hands and knees, getting into the shoulders, getting into the chest and that heart chakra. We're going to stay up on hands and knees, but what I'm going to invite you to do is walk your hands out just a little bit further, like you're coming into child's pose. And then I'm going to have you rest the forehead down on the yoga mat. Now, if this isn't happening for whatever reason, use your props, friends. You can place a yoga block underneath the forehead, maybe a bolster cushion. Maybe you can roll up your mat so you have a nice firm support there. Whatever you have available to you, but I want you to find this release through the shoulders, across the chest. For some of us, this might be the mid back and the lower back. And again, coming into melting heart pose. See where you can open up in your heart center, tapping into that feminine energy of receiving from the heart. And we'll stay here for just one more cycle of breath, starting on your next inhale through the nose. And exhale, we'll let that go. Beautiful job, everybody. From here, we'll gently press ourselves back onto all fours here. If you want to just simply get off the arms, get off the wrists for a second. If you need to shake out the arms in any way, maybe rotate through those wrists, you are welcome to do that. All right, and last but not least, we will close off our practice with some pigeon pose. So the way I like to approach this, friends, is from downward facing dog. So I'm going to make my way there now. And let's start with that right leg up and back into three-legged dog. And then as you exhale, what I'm simply going to do is bring my right knee just behind my right wrist. My toes and my right shin is more or less parallel with the front edge of my mat, but it's okay if that foot is hugging in a little bit closer towards that hip, that's fine too. And yeah, just see where you can adjust here. And again, applying that Goldilocks principle of just not too much, not too little sensation, but just enough, right, to feel something happening here. And I often notice, like the longer I am sitting in a posture, the longer that I'm kind of marinating, so to speak, I find more ease. I find a little bit more surrender. Sometimes I can go further and deeper into the pose, but not always, right? That's not the goal. Let's see again where you can soften your edges just a bit. Inviting some hip opening. Getting now into those lower chakras that are responsible for our creativity, our feminine energy, our flow. Okay, friends, so I want to invite you to stay here for just 2 more cycles of breath with me, starting on your next inhalation through the nose. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Once again, we will take our time coming up onto the hands. We'll gently bring ourselves back into downward facing dog and a lovely counter pose. Yeah, if you want to just simply pedal out the feet first, you can do that. But a lovely counter pose for this is actually down dog with a twist. So we'll go ahead and bring that right leg up and back, and then just gently bend through that right knee, bringing that right foot over towards the left wall. A nice counterbalance for what we just did. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and get this on the left side. Left leg comes up and back on your next inhale. Exhale once again. Let's prepare for pigeon pose. And acknowledging that both sides might feel a little different. I know my left side is definitely my more underused side of my body. And so sometimes I'll just hold my left side a little bit longer, but just to keep things simple today, let's go ahead and hold here just for a few cycles of breath, settling in. And finding ease in your breath. And once again, we'll stay here just for 2 more cycles of breath. Starting on your next inhalation through the nose. And exhale. Once again, we'll inhale. And exhale. Very good. Lovely. Now from here, let's go ahead and press ourselves back up, making our way into downward facing dog. Take your time. Pedaling out through the feet. If you want to get that counter pose, you are welcome to get that down dog with the twist here. All right, friends. friends. And then from here, I'm going to make my way to seated. Now, you are welcome to take meditation. You are welcome to repeat this class again if you would like to, or simply just take Shavasana. But I did want to close off this practice with you, especially if this is all the time that you have. Thank you so much for exploring all of these principles with me. The 7 Hermetic Principles. I've had so much fun preparing this series for you. I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope you have acquired some new knowledge in the process about yourself, about your body, and your energetic frequency. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Until next time, namaste.